Hello and welcome to Uncanny Contemplation, where through the macabre nightmares of art and gaming, we consider worlds that could be, worlds that were, worlds that hopefully won't be, but maybe they will. Hi, I'm Poet. I'm the button clicker. I'm here with Armadox.
Hello?
Armadox is the art possum, the king of trash. I don't know. Do you have any other titles?
Hobo King,
Oh, Hobo King. Yes, of course, Hobo King. I'm sorry.
one in the alley.
I'm sorry, Your Majesty. But yes, so it's a new idea we had. We're gonna give it a try. We've got some fun games. We've got some art, and we're going to explore as you do. So let's do that. What are you going to explore today?
I will tell you as I go.
Oh, wow. Oh. Mystery, I see. Well, here we are in our exploration.
What game are we doing today?
Omen Exitio Plague. This game is it like a book adventure. It's like an adventure book, so we'll see how it goes. I have not played it, but it seems appropriate to start with.
Yeah, you were holding on to it until this, so...
Oh, yeah. The beginning of a journey. Ooh. You are accompanied by the sounds of the rigging rustling in the wind and the swelling of the waves as you stroll along the ship's deck. Its rocking evokes a slight sense of nausea, the wood groaning faintly with every step, as if something inside wanted to scream but didn't quite have the energy. A journey, a long journey. Your ship is headed for Zanzibar. How long have you been at sea? You cannot even remember. The days follow one another, never changing. It feels like living in an endless haze, dazed and captured by the outline of those unknown waters. But all in all, you don't mind the feeling. After all, you are here to forget. Your name is Jake Huntington. Does it have to be Jake Huntington? I don't know. Are you okay with Jake Huntington?
I guess that's what we have to be.
I guess so. You are a doctor, a researcher, or at least you were proud to call yourself one before your entire world crumbled around you. You've always fought to save people's lives, but now you face a different battle where you have to kill. Such is the irony of fate. You enlisted in order to escape from yourself and, above all else, from the pain. You look out to the sea, wondering whether the ship can carry you far enough. Reality seems suspended during sea travel. Time loses all meaning and extends indefinitely. Just like the blue expanse spread out before you, day after day, you've been watching the horizon ahead bobbing up and down. Up and down. When? Ed. Jake. Remind me again while we're here. It feels like all this water has wiped my memory clean. You met a character, you got 2 XP. Wow, it's that easy, huh? Alright.
That's how it is in real life. Oh, I met somebody.
Alright, let's check out our notes. Characters, Ed O'Bannon. An Irish lad, just over 16 years old, blonde hair, skinny, tends to become troublesome when he hits the bottle, which he loves to do, but is a trusted companion.
That's how I explain my friends.
Yeah. Here's our character sheet. We are Jake Huntington. Born 12th of July, 1867 in London. We are British. We are healthy, it says. Okay. We're 5'11". That's very important. Marital status, widower. And we have, looks like we have 5 stats. Fighting, observation, medicine, agility, and speechcraft. Okay. But we don't have nearly enough EXP to increase anything, so we're just going to have to be terrible right now. The voice belongs to Ed O'Bannon, a blonde Irish boy. He can't be much older than 16, and just like every other evening, he's had a drop too much to drink, yet he blames the long voyage for his memory lapses. Should we indulge or ignore him?
Let's indulge him. He's, the only friend we have.
That's true. O'Bannon, I have no idea why they're sending us over to this forsaken island on the other side of the world, and let me tell you, I don't even care. All I know is that tomorrow we'll be there at last. With these words, you leave Ed to his goddamn Irish drinking songs and head below deck. It's time to sleep. Spoken like a true Briton, I guess. You're lying in your bunk, and just like every other night for the best part of the year, you're having a hard time falling asleep. You toss and turn in your sweat-soaked sheets until... Jake, are you asleep? I met a new character and gained 2 experience points. Who is this guy? Let's see. Ryan Vespucci. Assistant cook of Italian origin, he's your cabin mate. Available, funny, and with a great sense of duty, he's always ready to give you a hand. Oh, what a nice guy. It's Ryan Vespucci, the man in the bunk next to yours. He is the assistant cook hailing from Italy. Simply remember that tomorrow it's your turn in the ship's mess. Should we listen to Ryan, or should we avoid him by pretending to be asleep?
I mean, he might be talking about work, so maybe we should avoid him.
Yeah, alright, we'll avoid him. Jake, I left you a list of provisions we need in the gallery tomorrow. Don't bother pretending to sleep. You're no good at it.
Oh no, so we had to try to avoid him from work.
You grunt an answer, and the half-Italian man chuckles before lying down to sleep. The dorm is filled with heavy breathing and the sound of loud snoring of your companions. Apparently everyone is sleeping soundly except for you. Turning over in your bed, you find the note Ryan left you under your pillow.
It says, cut up tomatoes tomorrow.
And we can pocket it to read it in the morning, or we can read it right now.
I'll read it right now. You never know what's going to say.
All right. You light a candle, you keep near the bed, and read the note right away. The candlelight flickers in the dark, and the words come to life and dance before your eyes, while your pupils get used to the faint light of the wavering flame. Seems a lot for a shopping list or list of chores. Let's see. Jake, you think you joined the army to atone for your sins, but you're mistaken. You're not headed for Zanzibar by chance. What you see over there will change your perspective so much that you will turn to your old profession once again, and during this journey you will discover that you have a friend. Dun dun dun. Friendship. Dun dun dun. Friendship.
I'd go and punch the guy that gave me that note.
Well, it's not Ryan's list. You wonder whether it's just an odd prank by your fellow soldiers, but it seems too clever for them. While considering several theories, you finally slip into slumber, gently rocked by the waves. You'll be long until landing, but that doesn't mean you can escape kitchen duty. Ryan hands you a bag of potatoes to peel while he starts working on a bunch of carrots, slicing them with skill and accuracy, which is second to none, better than anyone you've ever seen. Okay, we can ask for his reasons for joining up, or his past. What do we want to talk about?
So, wait, you've been friends for a while. Why haven't you asked these questions before now?
Well, we haven't necessarily been friends. We've been bunk mates on our ship to Zanzibar, so we were assigned there. We're all soldiers, right? So we were assigned. Yeah. So, you know, we're work friends, basically, right?
So 6 months at sea, and just now you're like, hey, what's your life story?
Yeah, I guess so.
Interesting.
Well, we're a tortured ex-doctor named Jake Huntington.
Well, let's find out what tortured or brought him to this.
All right. How long have you been in the army, or are you here because you really want to be a soldier, or are there other reasons?
Let's find out how long they've been in the army.
Okay.
Seems like
that's a polite small talk question. Sure.
yeah, less intrusive.
Not a long time, really, but longer than you, I bet. You're right. Actually, this voyage is pretty much the entirety of my military career. I'm sorry that I'm giving Jake a dramatic voice, but his name is Jake Huntington. Don't worry, just stick with me and that Irish fool O'Bannon. You'll see it's not too bad. Shouts coming from the deck interrupt your chatting. Land ahoy! You hurry up and carry out your task before landing. Zanzibar port is a racket. Sailors yell in a wide variety of accents while goods are unloaded onto the docks, piling up in small mountains of crates. You are on the deck, observing the slowly approaching shapes of Stone Town. Soon at last, you will once again set foot on solid ground. Let's see, this little map thing is shining. Let's see. Okay, we have a full map of Zanzibar, but nothing on it. I guess that's maybe what we will be exploring throughout our journey. Hello, Dub Shooters. How's it going? Oh, it is going all right this morning. As we, explore the island of Zanzibar. Great stream, bro. Well, thank you. You were granted some free time. So you treat yourself to a stroll around the town. You're walking along the quay when a beggar approaches you. He's got the... Why does it keep making this... Okay, I'm going to stop looking at the map until I need to look at the map. It's fine. His rough hooded tunic covers his face. He reeks and walks with a limp, leaning heavily on a stick. Even though you don't understand what he's saying, you understand from his gesture he's asking for charity. Should we walk away or give him alms? Do we have money? Does our notes say we have money?
Yeah. Or give him alms. You have no money. End of stream.
Yeah. Let's say no thanks. Okay. Our content is similar. Definitely dropping a follow. Oh, wonderful. Well, thank you for joining us. All right, we're going to give him some alms. You hand out a coin to the beggar, and as he reaches out to grab it, you notice a tattoo on the inside of his wrist. Gasp. You only get a glimpse of it, but it strikes you with its peculiarity. The simple shape reminds you of an eye. Is this Count Olaf? No, it's not on his ankle. If it was on his ankle, he was probably Count Olaf. Oh, we got a new journal entry and 2 experience points. All right, let's see.
Well, we did meet somebody, get experience for meeting people.
Yeah, journal entry. Mysterious tattoo. The beggar tried to steal from you at Stonetown Harbor. On his forearm, he had a strange tattoo that resembles the shape of an eye. Okay. Still don't have enough to level up, but we're working on it. Okay. Beggar tries to get your attention and follow you. He grabs your shirt, forcing you to stop. He slips his hand into your pocket and then suddenly starts running. His apparent disability has gone. He's no longer limping. Should we just say, I love to get robbed, or shall we chase after him?
Well, maybe he'll lead you to more friends.
All right, yeah, let's chase him. The beggar runs along the dock as nimbly as an acrobat. When two sailors carry some bulky crates pop out in front of him, he vaults clear over them as easily as if he were stepping over them. The sailors stop to yell at him, dropping the crates and blocking your path. Okay, should I ask them to let you pass, or ignore the men and go around the crates?
Really? That's an option?
That's our options, yes.
Go around. Because they have to stop and pick them back up, and now they, you're ruining their day.
Exactly. They're just trying to get work done.
Yeah.
You swerve right and sprint past the obstacles, ignoring the men and running straight towards the beggar. When the thief realizes you are still chasing him, he jumps onto one of the small boats moored in a row in the harbor. He hops effortlessly from one boat to the next. In spite of their movement, it quickly gets away. Okay, before continuing the chase, you better make sure he actually stole something valuable, or you won't give up no matter the cost and start jumping across the boats to get him.
I'm gonna let you pick this one. This seems like this is one of those. It seems like an innocuous decision, but suddenly it means everything to the game.
Yeah, I'm gonna chase after him and fall into the water and drown. That sounds fun. Working up the courage, you continue the chase, hopping onto the moored boats. You manage to keep your balance, but after a couple of rather hasty jumps, you have to stop and slow down, or you'll fall into the water. The thief, however, has landed on an occupied boat, and the fisherman on board has caught him by the foot in a bid to stop him. You must take advantage of it to catch up. Okay. We can speed up, even at the cost of ending up in the water, or we can advance cautiously, taking advantage of the fugitive's struggle.
Let's be cautious. Let's have an adventurer that isn't immediately like doomed by his own hubris here.
Oh.
Let's take a chance then.
No, too bad. See the beggar wriggling out of the fisherman's hole before hitting him square in the face with a punch that sends one of his teeth flying into the air and him straight into the brine. Ooh. Moving cautiously, you detect a different path from the fugitives. Instead of chasing him, you move to the boat next to you. The shortcut you've taken lets you skip a couple of boats. You can reach him faster this way and pop up just in front of him. The man leaps to get back on the dock, but you manage to catch him mid-flight. You both fall into the water. The man tries to resist, and he hits you, but you seem to have trouble floating. You manage to get back what was stolen from you, the message, which was in your pocket. Was the fake beggar just trying to steal some money? Or was he deliberately aiming for the message? While you were engrossed in your thoughts, the thief manages to escape. You don't bother following him. You slowly swim to the dock and get out of the water. You were still confused about what just happened when Ryan approaches you on the dock. Jake, the hell are you doing? Leave's over. We've been called to muster. You follow the half-Italian to the dock of your ship. The troop is examined and soon makes its way to headquarters. You march with the squadron you were assigned to, lost in your thoughts. You expect an entirely different welcome from Zanzibar.
So, we got off the ship, chased a beggar through the docks, all for a note that basically says, hey, you're gonna have to go and do your old work again. Something cryptic.
That said,
I don't feel like this was a.
You're gonna have a friend.
Like a very useful day.
It said you're gonna have a friend.
We did. We had the beggar. It was very quick.
He was our good friend. We went swimming. It's nice. Well, I guess that's the end of the chapter, because now it says, with sweat and blood.
Oh, so legitimately that was our friend. The only thing we did.
Smith.
We ruined the life of a fisherman.
Yeah, maybe. He lost a tooth.
Yeah.
Wake up. Everyone on their feet. Quick. You open one eye, followed by the other. You feel the slow swaying of the sea and that peculiar smell of the ship. Something like unwashed bodies and acrid salt which prickles your nostrils. But it's just for a moment, and within seconds you are on your feet. It is Smith, the captain of the troop, who is yelling at you in the early morning. O'Bannon groans. He is still not up, and luckily the captain is unaware of it. The cries of Captain Smith could sink a battleship on its own. Okay, we have a new friend. Let's see who this guy is.
Wait, did we get EXP for it?
We did.
If we don't get EXP.
We did. Strict but fair, Smith is an excellent captain. He has great strategic skills and knows very well the capabilities of all the men under his command, taking full advantage of their potential. So this is like the only CO in the history of the military to be competent? Is that what I'm hearing?
Oh. Well, you know.
Okay. We can.
This is a pulp adventure, so the military is actually pretty useful in pulp adventures.
I guess that's true. We can scold O'Bannon and tell him to get his ass in gear, or we can ignore that he's struggling and just say, "We're ready, Captain. We're ready to do the stuff."
O'Bannon outranks us. We don't have to, no. It's up to them.
O'Bannon doesn't outrank us. He's a 16-year-old kid.
Oh, wait. I thought he was the... Oh, I gotta pay more attention. Oh, no. I thought he was the one that was in the, Cooks...
No, that's Ryan Vespucci.
Oh, there we go.
All right.
Yeah, wake him up.
Yeah, we'll scold O'Bannon. Come on, O'Bannon. Stop dreaming about whiskey bottles and get a move on. Oh, goodness. I'm awake.
16-year-old kid.
I'm awake. Your Irish friend's whiny character reminds you of a child who doesn't want to go to school.
Oh, I do not think highly of O'Bannon.
Not even my mum was this annoying. I'll give him that voice. Yeah. I'm a little kid in the military. O'Bannon mumbles some more incomprehensible words, and with considerable effort, he gets to his feet, wobbling. It seems he's still drunk from last night. You'd better keep an eye on him to prevent him from getting a severe scolding and a flagrant punishment. Well, we've taken custody of this child, I guess. You're outside, waiting for the training to start. O'Bannon's next to you, still sleepy. I'm sorry, what?
We have a child in our care and a pulp adventure. That kid's gonna die.
Well, I mean, in the 1800s, 16 is probably adult, but yeah. See, he's still seepy. He's out here as a seepy boy. After weeks of travel, Smith fears you've all gone soft. Looking at the men in your row, the doubt seems to be entirely valid. You can see the disorientation and lack of sleep on their faces. The air is filled with sand, and your boots sink into the mud. The view is desolate except for some isolated shacks. Smith is explaining the details of this morning's training with a cracked, rasping voice. You are distracted by the view. The weariness from the journey makes the speech hard to follow, and you end up missing parts of it. But you are sure you're not the only one. No one can get used to this new situation due to the brevity of the captain's speech. You hesitate for a moment, but Smith breaks the silence with an unyielding command shouted aloud. Come on, move, laddies, until you're well awake. Oh, okay. We seem to be building a character now. So the first was introduction. So we can lead and get +1 observation stat. We can help Ed O'Bannon and get +1 speechcraft. We can follow Ryan Vespucci and get +1 medicine by pacing ourselves. Or we can get +1 fighting by trying to be the best there ever was.
Well, we were supposed to be a doctor, right?
We were a doctor, yes.
So, I vote speechcraft, but it's probably not super useful.
I mean, bedside manner's good. And plus we said we'd help Ed. He's our small child that we've decided to take care of, so you stay next to O'Bannon and try to help him. Okay, you improve speechcraft. So I did. O'Bannon limps at the back of the group. Ed, you better pull yourself together quickly, or we'll be in trouble. Don't worry, Jake. If I don't collapse, gasping for breath, this race will get rid of the hangover. Once you arrive at the training ground...
we can't go back?
Too bad. No.
Sure we can't go back?
No, we can't.
Oh, no.
We've made an important decision, and it's done now. Once you arrive at the training ground, you must crawl through mud and overcome several grueling obstacles, climbing walls, barbed wire, and thick tires. This time, no one waits for Smith to start barking orders, and you all dive into the ground for the next exercise. Take a breather to see how O'Bannon is getting along. In his current condition, you are worried he will end up sinking into the mud and suffocate. Your concerns turn out to be well-founded. You see O'Bannon trying to slip out to catch his breath. Unfortunately, he ends up lying down with his face right in the muck in the middle of the training path. O'Bannon, keep doing that and I will put you in isolation. Good job, Vespucci. Huntington, you need to work harder. Smith surely isn't generous with his encouragement. Try to clean yourself up as fast as possible. Your clothes are wet and heavy. Not exactly ideal for your next task. Climbing a palm tree as quickly as possible. Picking a coconut and climbing back down, preferably in one piece. Okay. We can approach this task relaxed and get +1 medicine. Cautiously and get +1 observation. With speed and get agility. Or with... or we can... try to take O'Bannon, we could try to treat O'Bannon in his horrible hangover and get another speechcraft.
Well, and for a penny, I guess. We've taken this child in.
Okay. Captain, O'Bannon is not feeling well. I asked permission to take care of him. I appreciate your comradeship, Huntington, but I want to see your coconut all the same. You nod, helping O'Bannon to sit on the ground, then carry out your task. You try not to show any annoyance or irritation towards Smith. You deliver the coconut and get back to your mate. It's time for the gun test. Smith examines you quickly with grave glances while a soldier hands you a rifle. Task is simple. Hit the target. So we can do it.
Give this drunk 16-year-old a gun?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're soldiers. We can do it thoughtfully, so we can shoot the gun and then talk to Bannon to encourage him to not shoot himself, I guess, while he's doing his shooting. We can be disciplined and check our rifle before firing to make sure that it is in perfect working order. We can be confident and shoot without thinking to get +1 fighting. And we can be nervous with shaky hands and try to relax before shooting and get +1 medicine.
Why don't you do this one? Because this seems like we're becoming very, very one-sided here.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna get our medicine. We're gonna take this calmly. You take position, but you wait a bit to stop your hands from shaking. You close your eyes and focus your breathing. Meanwhile, you hear your comrade's shot go off right next to you. Almost everyone is already shot. What's happening, Huntington? We are not playing around. This is the army. You open your eyes and shoot. It's not a bad shot, not far off center, but Smith didn't appreciate your hesitation. After the shooting range, Smith takes you to a large, flat, dusty area. In front of you, there's a series of worn-out cannons. Smith wastes no time in pairing off the men to cooperate in both the maintenance and actual use of the cannons. He probably wants to test your teamwork skills. Find yourself paired with O'Bannon, who joyfully comes to you, stumbling a bit. We can tell O'Bannon to shut up and try to work the cannon alone to get a fighting. We can observe how everybody else does the cannons and then improve our technique. We can carry out the task while trying to keep O'Bannon from helping too much, just letting him do enough to not look like he's being completely useless. Or we can use speechcraft to berate O'Bannon into helping us exactly how we want.
We didn't get all those speechcraft points for nothing.
Well, we're still gaining stats. If we do the authoritarian, we'll get another speechcraft, so...
So...
Yeah.
Does one of them give medicine?
No.
Oh, well, then I guess we're gonna have to invest ourselves in let's see what everybody else is doing.
All right, yeah, let's get +1 observation. That's always important. You carefully watch the other pairs, busy with their cannons. O'Bannon is too preoccupied with his headache to help you much. You mimic 2 skilled soldiers, and all in all, you manage to shoot decently. Oh man, you're giving all kinds of little details to Your little Cthulhu man over there.
Well, I gotta make it stretch.
Smith is not satisfied at all, and he sharply explains your next task. It's time to practice hand-to-hand combat. Naturally, you are paired with O'Bannon. You look at your partner, assessing his state. He's still a bit dazed, but at least he's standing and seems a bit more aware. So you set to carry out your task. We can gain +1 speechcraft by distracting O'Bannon, which is probably pretty easy to do. You can get +1 medicine to strike O'Bannon to stun without actually hurting him. You can get +1 fighting by just leaping in there and just beating the shit out of this kid. Or we can get +1 agility by playing defensively and trying to parry and block.
You know, the fact that we have agility in what is essentially a point and click is kind of worrisome. But I think we should just like wreck him for all of what he's done.
Okay.
Or the medicine one. Your choice.
Let's do the medicine one. Bannon hesitates for a few moments and starts to hit you. You exchange some blows, then you manage to land a punch between his neck and shoulder. You planned it well. O'Bannon falls to the ground, semi-conscious. Victory is yours. Smith stares at you for a couple of seconds, then he mumbles something, but he seems pleased. He orders you to get started on the next task. Once again, you are practicing hand-to-hand combat, but this time your opponent is Vespucci. You look at him and he smiles. You know he's stronger than you. We can use medicine and be careful to basically try to block our vulnerable bits. We can analyze him and try to buy time in order to figure out how to break his guard. We can get +1 fighting by just constantly attacking and trying to not give him any time to react to us. Or we can get +1 agility by focusing on dodging.
Well, I mean, the title of the game does not say not plague, so having medicine seems like it might be our best bet.
Yeah.
But he is gonna rock us, so maybe fighting.
Well, if he's gonna rock us, then the medicine is us trying to make sure that we don't take any serious damage. We're blocking our vital organs. We're cupping our genitals and all the important things. Again, this is the 1800s. They probably still believe in what was that terrible boxing thing? Bottom. It was called Bottom, which is very funny. Where they just believed that you weren't supposed to defend in any way.
Yeah. The original method of boxing where it was just like you take a hit and then you hit them back until one of you falls down.
Yes.
Yeah.
Alright, we're just going to keep pumping medicine. I noticed from looking at our character sheet that the higher the number of points, the more experience it costs to boost it. So I feel like continuing to boost medicine is going to mean that we the stuff that we ignore here will be easier to get a couple of small points in, so let's be careful. You try to intercept Vespucci's blows, shielding yourself with your arms. You buy time. Ryan's attacks are vicious, but you doubt he can keep them up for long. Your patience rewards you when you notice your opponent starting to wheeze and gradually become inaccurate. You manage to exploit an opening in his guard and charge towards him, taking him to the ground. As your comrade brushes the dust off his trellises, you hold out your hand with a smile. Ryan smiles back, takes your hand, and gets up, congratulating you on a good fight. Smith continues relentlessly shouting orders. You pick up all the equipment, the backpack and the training rifle. It seems that the captain wants you to be full of adrenaline for the combat simulation, so you don't hold anything back. He forces you to run right through the jungle to reach your next destination. You glance at O'Bannon and notice his arm is bleeding.
Jeez.
We can ignore his bleeding arm and just do what we're told, or we can stop to try to bandage him up.
We're gonna, we were a doctor, and I assume that we still have the predicts of a doctor. not letting our fellow guy get yellow fever from the jungle from a bleeding arm might be a good idea.
Yeah, that sounds good. Wait, Ed, what happened there? You point at the trace of blood on his hand. O'Bannon shrugs to minimize his injury, and you answer with a smirk, gesturing at him to come towards you. We can patch him quickly. You can apologize. I had to stop. You got hurt during our fight. So we can apologize for potentially having made this injury while we were fighting him. Or we can do a full healing, washing the wound and bandaging it properly.
I guess a full healing.
Alright, we're gonna medicate. Come here, Ed. As slow as you are, we will be last anyway. Damn, sick burn. O'Bannon mumbles and smirks, but he gives you his arm. You lift his sleeve and check the wound. It's not too bad, but it may get infected here in the dirt. You clean it up with your canteen water and wrap it with a handkerchief. When the training is over, you will take another look at it. You and O'Bannon are the last to reach Captain Smith's prearranged spot, both panting and red-faced. You are welcomed by a barrage of insults, which Smith spits at you with equal parts saliva and venom. The squadron moves together, but without you, O'Bannon and Vespucci. You fell behind to deal with your friend's wound, and the Italian wanted to assist you. He's always ready to help. Ed is immediately taken to headquarters in order for his wound to be sutured. You wonder whether you should follow him and perform the task yourself, or leave him in the hands of another doctor and go on with the training. So we can ask to go with him and do the suturing, or we can stay with everybody else and train to be a cool soldier who loves to fight in Zanzibar.
Oh man. Yeah, do we trust the other doctors in Zanzibar to do the job themselves?
I don't know. I mean, military doctors, they may not be. They may not have the best bedside manner. I don't know.
Then it sounds like we need to do the job ourselves. Right.
Yeah, we'll go with him. You
Can't
follow O'Bannon.
Trust anybody.
Yeah, you follow O'Bannon to the shacks that the troops' headquarters are made up of. You navigate the movements of the men who carried your friend and move closer to suture the wound. Okay, so we've sutured the wound, and we can now go back to training, or we can just say, well, this has been a great day, and just go rest at headquarters for the rest of the day.
And I'm done. I think Smith would come in and beat us ragged if we chose that route. I bet we probably have to go back and tell him what happened.
Yeah, probably. Oh, look, my dog came in here to say hi. Hello, dog. Yes.
What do you think we should do on this one?
Yeah, I think we should go back and do our training. We're trying to be compassionate, but we at least, I feel like we wouldn't have signed up to be a soldier if we didn't want to be a soldier. I feel like we would, we at least are going to give it a try, right? Also, our name is Jake Huntington, the most masculine man that ever lived, so. Now it's time for the last part of training, teamwork. The troop stops near an abandoned fortress, and the two groups are ordered to get into formation. One will attack the walls, and the other will handle the artillery, either bombarding the weak walls of the fort or providing cover for the frontline soldiers. Should we be part of the artillery team or the frontline attacking team?
Are we just wrecking some random fort? That's Zanzibar's fort. That isn't ours. What are we doing?
We're colonizers. What are you gonna do?
Fair enough. Our artillery, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, given our stats, we have 1 in observation and some in speechcraft. I don't think we're going to be very good at attacking the walls, so let's do artillery.
Yeah.
The orders are clear. You have to take the fort as quickly as possible while trying to limit the enemy's counterattack, and you must decide which strategy to use. Okay. So, we can hit beyond the walls to offer cover for the men who are advancing, or we can bombard the walls with the cannons in order to create a breach for everybody to run in through.
honestly, what do you think, bombard?
I mean, the strategy I would use is you want to give cover because you want the men to not die. That would be what I would do, but I mean, I don't know how soldiers work.
These are fighting men. They knew what they signed up for.
All right, well, we'll breach the wall then. These are intense moments filled with shouts, blasts, and dust. This means the battle seems quite real. The day is now coming to an end, and the mock attack on the fort has been carried out. The men are all exhausted, yourself included. I'm proud of you all. Today you made a real effort. Tomorrow we could even go on the attack, but for now it's time to rest and refresh ourselves. Day's light has almost disappeared below the horizon when your captain brings the soldiers back together. He has an important message for all the men. He has not yet started to talk. He's waiting for everyone to sit down, but you can feel some serious tension filling the air. The pro-British Sultan, Hamad bin Thuwaini, I hope I'm pronouncing that correct, ruler of Zanzibar, died on the day of your arrival on this island, and Khalid, an illegitimate ruler, has since taken his place. I believe they mean illegitimate as in not going to give Britain a bunch of money. I think that's probably what they mean by that. An ultimatum has been sent to Khalid, requesting that he abdicate peacefully. That ultimatum will expire tomorrow. Dun 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 dun
dun. Meddling in this country's affairs? Planning a coup? We're not. Are we the bad guys?
We're the British Empire. We're part of the British Army. Yes, we're obviously the baddies.
Oh no.
You know how it be. Got 4 experience points from doing all that training. We could level up now.
Oh.
Let's see. We have enough to either put a point in fighting. Fighting helps you face your enemies. It includes unarmed combat and the ability to use firearms.
Alright.
You can put a point in agility. Agility helps you jump, run, and dodge enemy hits. It allows you to take advantage of speed in combat rather than force, but also to escape quickly. Other points, we don't have enough experience yet.
We put it all in speechcraft, and then we just tell the other guy to abdicate.
Yeah, we have 2 points in speechcraft. Allows you to persuade, intimidate, obtain information, and manipulate actions. Words at times are much more effective than any weapon. Observation allows you to notice the details that are normally ignored by most people. It can help you find useful clues. Oh. And then medicine is useful for treating companions and yourself, but also be used offensively. Oh.
Offensive medication?
Yeah, it lets us know where the weak points are.
Gotcha.
We know where to stab people. Well, unless we want some agility or fighting. I feel like we're making a much more talky, helpy build, so maybe we'll just hold on to our experience points for now. Your squadron's lined up in the courtyard of the headquarters. It's 8 o'clock in the morning, but this time everyone is wide awake. You're ready to set off for the Sultan's palace. Looking around, you can see the anxiety in the faces of your fellow soldiers. Time given for the ultimatum is almost up. The British force is composed of various ships. There are 1,000 men, but the Sultan's army should not be underestimated. Between his loyal men and the soldiers subdued to his will, the prince has gathered a small army, certainly enough to propose a threat. Or pose a threat. He can propose a threat. Get down on one knee with a ring and say, like, can I please be your threat?
Oh, dang.
The reason for Smith's urgency in training the men, with all those hours crawling in the mud and climbing palm trees, is now clear. He was figuring out how prepared his soldiers were rather than just training new recruits. His granted time has almost run out, and the Rear Admiral Harry Lawson, who's on board the St. George, notifies the men to stand by for the attack. You don't know him well, but you have heard he is intolerant of anyone who fights under any banner but his. Excuse me for a second. Don't want to have the plague myself.
Oh. Dude, do you need a medicine check?
Yeah, you roll the medicine check. It's General Lloyd Matthews who begins the attack, ordering his men to open fire upon the prince's palace. Well known for his extraordinary willpower and determination, Matthews has just one goal in this fight: unseat the usurper, as quickly as possible. Usurper, sentences. Ugh. Talking too much. It's like I'm reading a story out loud.
Oh man. I mean, it sounds like he has a legitimate call to be the heir. So, perhaps sanctions? Or do we have a button for sanctions?
We're a grunt in the army. I don't think we can do sanctions. I don't think we have any actual control over that part. Even Smith seems intimidated by the figure of Zanzibar's prime minister, General Matthews, and nervously commands his troop to move towards the palace. He wants a reconnaissance group to avoid ambushes and to look for the best point to strike. So we can offer to do reconnaissance at the dock. We can offer to assault the palace. Or we can just stay silent and hope that he tells us to do something that doesn't suck.
I don't feel confident on our no fighting ability to make it through the palace. So perhaps we just sit this one out.
I mean, we have observation and speechcraft skills. We could go to the dock and maybe like spycraft our way to some information about their supplies or something.
That's fair. Sure. We've had good luck at the dock. Nothing bad has happened to us so far there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, see, we have dock experience.
We know where the boats are and how hard it is to jump from one to the other.
Yeah, exactly. Sir, I'd like to volunteer to go on a recon mission to the dock. Smith appreciates your initiative. After looking you straight in the eye for a few minutes, he decides to put you in command of the operation and chooses a group of men who are going to follow you and take your orders. You lead your group. Running close to the palace walls and sliding along the thin shadows in the daylight, you place yourself near the shore, hiding behind the dunes, where your backs barely sink to the sand and your watchful eyes can have a view of the entire dock. Around you, the sounds of cannons echo from allied ships, which are wiping out opponents. Alright, so we can use our observation skill to lean out of the sandy mound and check the situation, or we can use our speechcraft skill to encourage our men.
Speechcraft. I think we have a better chance of that.
Yes, we have 1 observation and 2 speechcraft, so let's command our men.
And it doesn't. Oh. And it means that we don't have our head replaced with a cannonball.
It's true. Although, wouldn't that be cool? We could be Cannonhead instead of Jake Huntington.
Well, cool for about like 15 seconds, and then probably not so cool after that.
I guess so. It's time. Okay, it says we got a success on that roll. It says it's time to show Smith what we are made of. You arrange a little reconnaissance group while you order the other soldiers to provide all the cover fire they can. The men are excited and they trust your gut instinct and follow your orders promptly, eager to face danger. Don't be so eager to face danger, guys.
Yeah. We didn't start this war. Why are we excited to get involved?
You keep your eye on your explorers, ready to immediately intervene if needed, but everything goes smoothly and you smile as they return. They tell you that the enemy artillery is disabled. Oh. The whole situation seems to favor the British Army, so you decide to retreat to the palace gardens. This way you can support your allies in the battle, which is almost at its climax. While you move forward, you meet your allies on their way back. They are euphoric, and when they see you, they flail their arms around with joy. Wah! Flailing arms! The war for the Sultan's palace is turned to be a surprisingly short-lived affair. After only 45 minutes of steady cannon fire, the British army has forced the Sultan and his men to surrender. Despite the brevity of the battle, you are happy with yourself and how you managed to contribute to the victory. At the end of the fight, while he addresses the troops, Smith unexpectedly addresses you in front of the other men. Huntington, you did well in the battle. I didn't know you were a leader.
That seems like a backhanded compliment.
Yeah. Got 4 experience points. We can upgrade our observation.
Did we meet a friend?
No, we led some people into battle and they didn't all die terribly. That's worth experience points.
Fair enough.
All right, I'm gonna get some point of observation. Yeah. Now we're so observant now. Head towards the headquarters with your troop. You walk away from where the fight took place and turn to look at the Sultan's palace, which is still surrounded by smoke from the battle. The ruins collapse in upon themselves, causing clouds of sand and dirt, while you see the British ships in the distance peacefully sailing away in the background.
We came, we murdered a sultan, and then we just peace out.
Goodbye. Goodbye, Sultan.
That sultan was like 8 years old, wasn't he?
Sure. We'll go with it. You fell behind. The rest of the troop are now far ahead. You speed up to reach them when an elegantly dressed man approaches you on the street. The stranger takes his hat off in greeting and speaks to you with a German accent. Mr. Huntington, could I trouble you for a moment of your time? I'm not doing bad accents. I mean, I could. I'm not going to.
Good call.
You are confused. You've never seen this man, so far as you can recall. You stop on the street, staring at him without uttering a single word, but the crowd seems to distance itself from you, as if they were trying to avoid the embarrassment of an uncertain situation. Finally, your mind manages to find a concrete answer, while your mysterious interlocutor awaits with great patience, his hat held to his chest. So we can graciously ask the stranger's identity, or we can be surly and tell him you've never seen him before and you gotta go because you're a cool soldier and you've got important soldier things to do.
So, this is a well-dressed random German in Zanzibar?
Yes. Well, he has a German accent. I guess we don't necessarily know he's German. But...
Oh, true. Well, we are looking for a friend.
Oh, that's true. We were told that we were going to make a friend. Maybe this is our friend. We're going to be gracious. Pardon me, but do we know each other? Forgive my rudeness. My name is Meyer. Nice to meet you in person, finally. He keeps smiling at you, barely bending his head in a sign of respect as if he's waiting for your next query, which is not long in coming. The pleasure is mine, Mr. Meyer. May I ask you how you know my name? You see, Mr. Huntington, I am here on behalf of a group of people who deal with public health. The gentleman group I belong to is very interested in what happens around it and in the whole world. You, we know, of course, by reputation. What reputation? You are just one of many doctors in London. You're not even sure whether your neighbors would recognize you. Mayer's German accent and speech stops the flow of your thoughts. I had hoped to talk to you if you have time, of course. We can accept, or we can walk away, slightly concerned about how much he seems to know about me. Or we can accept the invitation of this mysterious group of people who care about public health.
Well, let's accept.
Yeah.
Maybe they're from the Peace Corps.
You sit down in a bar along the street. Man orders 2 coffees, and he watches you with a strange but friendly smile, unable to inspire trust. He raises his cup just a little, sipping his coffee and studying your every movement, making you uncomfortable. Please, don't be so nervous. You make me feel like an executioner ready to cut your head.
That's not a great sign.
The man smiles, then he lowers his cup in front of him, leaning his elbow on the table. His hands meet in a tangle of fingers near his chin. He never stops staring at you, not for a moment. This guy's totally flirting with us. We were on a coffee date. This is a meet cute. You know, we went out, we're like, oh, we're raiding Zanzibar Island, and oh, I met this cute man.
Hey.
Cute man, he bought me a coffee. We both care about public health. We have so much in common.
Our friendship is definitely going well.
Indeed. We know you're not a soldier. Your medical research is cutting edge. I and the gentleman I represent have gathered a lot of information about you and would be interested in working together. Think of us as modern patrons. He laughs, as if he found his metaphor enjoyable, or perhaps he's simply amused by the astonished paleness of your face. You don't need to answer me yet, Mr. Huntington. Think about it. You know that every disease has consequences. Some of them go beyond even the deplorable loss of human lives. We are studying a dreadful disease which could soon turn into a pandemic. For this reason, we are looking for people who could really make a difference in dealing with such diseases. People like you. You should not quit, even though I can understand how, after your terrible tragedy... Yes, our dark and mysterious backstory, yes. Tragedy? Is he really talking about Helen? He really has done his research on you, because that was no joke. You can't help but wondering how he knows so much, especially about Helen. Okay. We can make excuses and leave as soon as possible, because we don't like where this conversation's going. We can listen and see where this conversation is going. Or we could just reply and talk about how much we hated losing Helen, this person that we were just now hearing about. But I assume is the photograph on our character sheet that's been pinned to it.
Well, I want to know more about Helen.
Okay, so we'll tell him about how much is like, you'll never know how much I love this woman.
Let's see where this goes. On account that we may actually be, bad at doctoring and now finding out.
Yeah. I don't think you know or remotely comprehend. You answer harshly, tightening your fist unconsciously. I know more than you think, Huntington. I know you're a determined man, and soon you're going to face the truth of what I'm talking about. Time you witness what this disease can do, I will be back, and I know you'll have realized how serious the situation is. One more revelation that shocks you. You start feeling very uncomfortable, and nausea attacks you, making you unable to answer or do anything apart from wring your hands. Think about it, Mr. Huntington. We're willing to offer you everything you need to help you change the destiny of the whole world. Man waves goodbye to you without granting you the chance to respond, vanishing into the crowd like a ghost. And leaving you with the bill of 2 coffees. Oh my gosh.
We made a bad friend.
The meeting has left you pensive and distraught. It seems Meyer wants your collaboration, offering you his help, yet there is something about him that doesn't convince you. Too many secrets and oddities. Met a new character, made a new journal entry, and got some experience. Let's see, Meyer. Mysterious German who seems to know many details of your past. Behind is affable ways and a certain wit. His true intentions are unknown and suspicious. Sure. You enlisted in the army to forget Helen and the illness which took her away from you. But your efforts have been in vain. Your wife would never have wanted you to quit your job, yet not being able to save her destroyed your self-confidence and left you consumed by doubt and guilt. Now it seems the past is trying to reach out to you in some way. I find it interesting that this drawing of your wife has more shadow in the menu screen than it does in this. Whatever, it's fine. Okay. Then you remember the message. You'd like to ask Meyer whether he sent that warning. You regret not having thought of it before, but it's too late now. He's already gone. New chapter. Invisible evil. You are at the headquarters during one of the quiet moments granted by training. A man comes up to you panting heavily to tell you that you've been summoned to see Smith. Curiously piqued, you head to his office. Following the Battle of Zanzibar, you have no idea as to what Smith could want from you now. Soon find yourself in front of Smith, who silently looks you up and down. His eyes freeze you to the spot. After looking at you for what seems like an infinity, Captain clears his throat and looks out towards the windows. The country is in a critical condition, Huntington. A dangerous disease is spreading along the borders of German Africa and British East Africa. Turns his head, barely looking at you. Even the German border. Myron mentioned a disease, an epidemic. Is this the same disease he was talking about? I wonder why Smith is so interested in this mysterious outbreak, but you stay silent, waiting for him to continue. I'm going to lead a regiment, which is departing now to investigate that area of the country and study the threat. I'd like you to be a part of this expedition. You're opening your mouth to answer when Smith turns back towards you and leans his arms on his desk. He's wearing a slightly pained expression. He then starts leafing through a stack of papers, carefully examining them. This time I need your academic skills more than your soldiering skills. I've read your files. You were a doctor back in London, a very good doctor. I want you to join the expedition to study the disease. It's not what you had expected.
Why are they sending grunts for this?
Working as a doctor reminds you of the failure, which led you to run off, enlist, and fight in order to avoid painful feelings. You were unable to save the one person you love more than anyone else in the world. I think it's just literally a matter of, like, we're on Zanzibar, so, like, we're the closest group, right?
Oh, okay. Makes sense.
Because you know, it's happening in Africa, and Zanzibar is off the coast of Africa, unless I am totally forgetting my geography, which I guess I could be. Now Smith needs your medical skills, and you can't very well disobey his orders, yet you're unsure how to proceed. We can be excited about this new opportunity, or we can be reluctant. So we can say, with pleasure, Captain, or I'll join the expedition, Captain, but I'm here as a soldier, not as a doctor. You better not have me doctor anybody, or I'm going to be mad.
Have we been excited about anything so far?
Not really.
I mean,
we were excited about leaping from boat to boat and nearly dying. We seemed very eager to do that.
That's true. I would see we would be very reluctant about, you know, having to stop our boat jumping for doctoring.
Yeah, right. Huntington, if you're any kind of soldier, you'll follow the orders you're given. Captain looks at you harshly, but you feel that deep down he's also worried. You know what he discovered in your files, but that glance hides a glimmer of comprehension. You can see the palpable concern in each other's eyes, and then the captain breaks the silence. Get to the armory, Sergeant. Carrig will provide you with the equipment you'll need for the mission. Prepare yourself properly, Huntington. We will be heading into some dangerous places. As you're walking to the armory, other thoughts gather in your mind. Your past is coming back to you like some kind of threatening shadow. Cautiously approaching, waiting to pounce on you at the first opportunity. One more mysterious disease to study. And that man, Meyer. You wonder whether this is the same disease, or it's all just some bizarre coincidence. Sergeant Carrig. You met him when you enlisted in London. You have gradually taken to his scowling face and his harsh and abrupt manner. He is a pedantic and excessively dutiful man, but he probably wouldn't have been put in charge of weapons and supplies without these qualities. As always, he stares at you with half-closed eyes, as if he's trying to focus on you. Huntington, what a pleasure to see you. I didn't know you would be assigned to this mission. I can't believe they still trust you with a rifle. He burst into a brief, hoarse laugh at his own bad joke. Horse laugh. Oh, I'm sorry. Horse laugh. Like that? Okay, we can be friendly or professional.
Not surly. We've been surly to everyone else.
Our two options are friendly and professional. Sorry.
Oh.
Cut to the chase or exchange a couple of pleasant words with Sergeant Carrig.
Be pleasant. Be pleasant to the one guy that's really an asshole to us.
He's the quartermaster. We need him to be our friend.
Yeah.
If we ever want to get, like, secret medical supplies or, like, Cthulhu killing grenades or whatever we're going to end up needing, we need to be friends with this guy.
Here's this gun, but it has no ammo.
Yeah, he's going to be that.
Your stay in Zanzibar.
He's going to be that kind of guy if we're mean to him. Sergeant, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but my aim has improved greatly since we first met. Now I can even hit a moving target. You spend some time chatting with Carrig, who keeps staring at you with that half smile which splits his face into two asymmetric parts. Reminiscence about the amusing incident from the past, which was considerably more embarrassing for you than for the sergeant. He appears delighted by these cadet memories. After a while, you decide to cut him short so as not to be late for Smith's appointment with the regiment. I'm setting out again, Carrig. One more expedition. Something big's coming up. Something big? Is it a promotion, Huntington? You don't have enough scars to play the big veteran yet. Sergeant laughs, but he watches you with a beady eye. He never pushes his mockery too far. You know perfectly well that Carrig likes you. He even took you under his wing to some measure. Well, Smith told me something about it already. It seems he has a thing for you, the captain. Man, everyone's hitting on us.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. We seem to be very popular for no reason.
Well, if that's the case, you'll need some appropriate equipment. What are you talking about? We're Jake Huntington. Mainly masculine man. Jake Huntington. You're not sure whether Smith is capable of having a thing for anyone or anything, but you don't dispute Carrick's words or even answer him. You don't like Smith? He's got that slicked back haircut and those princely glasses? No? Not into Magane? Alright. Carrick takes you to another part of the armory. The room is big, but mostly empty and somewhat abandoned looking. The war at the Sultan's Palace must have drained a large portion of the British supplies and provisions. Racks are almost empty, and Carrick only puts 2 weapons on the table in front of you, a rifle and a pistol. Huntington, you can choose 1 weapon only. This is in London, our resources are limited. So it looks like, looking at the picture, we have like a flintlock rifle, or a or what looks like a what do you call, like a revolver, like
a. Well, if it's a choice between a flintlock and a revolver, I assume you should take the revolver.
I mean, I think it's like a flintlock. It's got that little little hammer that you pull back on it, right?
Like a wheel lock,
Yeah. In the picture, anyway. I don't know.
Well, we're bad at guns and fighting anyway, so it really doesn't matter which one we choose. We're not going to be competent with it.
Well, I think a 6-shooter where we can fire 6 bullets and maybe 1 will hit is probably a better idea then.
Yeah, I agree.
I'll take the pistol, Carrig. He dismantles the weapon and puts it back together with extraordinary familiarity. His movements are quick and precise. The sergeant carefully checks the pistol and hands it over to you, together with some ammunition. Oh, we got a new item. Let's take a look at it. British Army service pistol for the mission in Zanzibar. Revolver. Okay, cool. Sounds good. Where are you heading, Huntington? Command hasn't told us a damn thing about the mission. Smith's quieter than a mouse. Carrick pretends not to care, but it's obvious he's extremely eager to know what's going on. Neither is he subtle. We can say the information's classified, or we can use our speechcraft to tell a dramatic story.
Dramatic story, 100%, always.
There's a disease, some sort of epidemic terrorizing the whole of East Africa. Smith wants me to join the expedition because he knows about my past as a doctor, and he'd like me to study the disease, but I'm not so sure that I will be able. I don't... Oh. We succeeded, by the way.
Oh.
You hesitate for a moment.
Failed.
Huh? No, we succeeded. We told the dramatic tale.
And then we fail, and it would be just like, we did a thing, and we're supposed to go somewhere, and the other guy's just like,
We just start, we fail, and we just start sobbing and be like, people sick! Oh, people sick! Yeah. You hesitate for a moment. Your nerves has given way by your shaking hands. Carrick seems to notice it, and he stops you mid-sentence. Somehow, your being honest has granted you his sympathy. Sounds like a dangerous mission. I have something that might come in handy. Sergeant starts thoroughly searching the drawers of the armory counter, carefully moving aside ammunition and mechanical junk of all kinds. Where the hell is it? I'm sure I put it here. Oh, here it is. Carrot stands up again and puts a little object in your hands. It resembles a gun, but it's tiny, like a sort of miniature toy rather than a real weapon. You can't help but notice that, unlike everything else here, the gun is entirely spotless, polished, and seemingly brand new. I know nothing about medicine, Jake. It's not my field. One thing I do know, though, is that in close contact with the enemy, this little thing here could be the difference between life and death. Staring at you with extreme seriousness, he gives you the weapon and shows you how to grip it. It's It's a single-shot Colt Derringer. Don't let the size fool you. It's as deadly as any other weapon, and easier to use than a rifle. Tries to diffuse the tension with an empty laugh and puts the hand on your shoulder. Put the Colt in an inner pocket and smile back at him, a silent gesture of gratitude. Alright, so we got a little holdout Derringer.
You're going to a place where there's a plague? Here's a weapon for you to shoot yourself in case you get sick.
We got an achievement for getting the Derringer. Apparently that's an optional thing.
Oh, what was the achievement called?
It said one last shot or something like that. Single.
So yes, that's exactly what it's for.
Yeah, single shotgun, small enough to be hidden in it. Oh well, that's a pretty good typo. It says single shotgun, small enough to be hidden in a jacket sleeve. Got a hidden in it. Okay, I'm done.
Oh no.
Now to the storeroom. I've got something for you. You follow your old friend towards a fairly large room, as empty and dirty as the rest of the armory. Reminds you of the jungle where you trained with the rest of the regiment. Perhaps it's just the same humidity, sticking your clothes uncomfortably to your body. The crates scattered here and there, but you can see that the British store of weapons and supplies is running low. Its equipment belonged to a doctor who was discharged some years ago. Carrick puts a magnifying glass, some vials, surgical calipers, and a first aid kit onto the counter. We can accept it and say they will be very useful, or we can continue to deny being a doctor and say like you got something else. You got something else.
I would assume at this point we should be, sullen to our duties and actually take the medical supplies, so that we can do something when we're actually in, the thick of it.
Yeah, I mean, we put a lot of points into medicine. Seems like we'd be wasting our time to not take these. Okay, thanks, Carrick. These tools will be very useful. You carefully place the objects in your backpack and thank Carrick for everything. You talk about your time in London together and various other things before you say goodbye and take your leave.
And you never saw him again.
You got a bunch of items. First aid kit, a small leather bag containing the medical equipment supplied to British Army doctors. Need some tools and first aid medicines, medical equipment, the bare essentials to provide first aid mainly on wounds, flasks, small glass flasks that contain liquids or samples, and a magnifying glass, an item of excellent British making. Small and portable, perfect for looking at small objects. Alright.
We got ourselves something for observation, too.
Yeah. Good luck, Jake. Sergeant keeps watching you with his half-closed eyes as you walk away, chuckling to himself as usual. Oh, I met a new character. Sergeant Carrig, a surly and strict sergeant assigned to army requisitions. Despite often rebuking the soldiers, he has a soft spot for those who perform their duties with dedication. Oh, we also now have notes about her meeting with Meyer. You met a man with a strong German accent. You found the way he spoke to you and his allusions very unpleasant. Man knows more than he lets on. We got achievement, one more shot. You got the Colt Derringer from the armory. Good for us. And you walk back towards the headquarters, tightening your backpack straps as you go. Smith and a small contingent of men are waiting for you in front of the barracks, ready to depart. Huntington, you're always late. It's Ryan. You rejoin the regiment without getting lost in idle conversation, or you're pleased to see that Ryan is part of the expedition.
I'd be pleased to see Ryan, because he seems like he's a competent fighter, and we need one.
Yeah, and a cook. Seems like a good guy. I'm happy you're here too. At least we'll have something decent to eat. I cannot stand the food here much longer. There's insects in almost everything we're given. Ryan answers with a loud laugh. He claps you on the back with all the delicacy of a London bare-knuckle fighter. They don't know how to make anything even remotely edible, I know. I just heard something about this mission, something about a disease. What about you? Have you heard anything? After a moment's consideration, you decide to tell your friend what you know. Smith asked me to join this expedition as a doctor. He wants me to study the disease, and I'm afraid that something is serious. The Italian cook nods before his face lights up as he remembers something important. Oh, I almost forgot. O'Bannon should be with us too. As if summoned by some kind of ritual, O'Bannon appears at your side and puts his hand on your shoulder. Look who's here, Dr. Jake Vespucci, the Golden Ladle. He bursts out laughing, and then whispers in your ear. I have some really nice bottles with me. It's going to be a good laugh. As usual, everything is a game for him. Sometimes each time O'Bannon opens his mouth, he reminds you of the stupid innocence of youth. We could scold him, or we could support his good humor.
Well, he's gonna die anyway, so let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Be kind to him.
The good humor brought by the young man is contagious, and you can't help but smile at his exuberance. Take it easy with that flask, or sooner or later you will have whiskey for blood. If only that were true, Doc. I'd be singing through every day and night the good Lord's given us. As if to illustrate the veracity of his words, he starts singing an old Irish drinking song. Despite everything, you feel more relaxed knowing both your friends will be part of the mission. You don't really know what the other men in the regiment yet. Smith is in front of you, smoking his pipe intently. That's not Smith, it's a small boy. Oh, okay. He's holding the hand of a small boy. I'm like, why did you show the picture of Smith over there? Like you normally do. He looks about 6. Noticing your presence, the captain approaches with the child.
We're given a child.
Huntington, you haven't met my son yet. This is Scott. He wants to come with us to see all the wild animals, but this mission is too important, isn't it? The child looks up at his father pleadingly, hoping to make him feel guilty. The captain's stern expression melts away as he ruffles his hair paternally. Another time, Scott. You say goodbye to Scott, who hides shyly behind his father. Smith yells out at the men. On the march, men. We have a long road ahead. We've met the character Scott. Smith's young and polite son, a 6 years old child. As opposed to his father, he's shy and looks very emotional and affectionate. All right, time to march ahead.
What?
What's that?
The fact that Scott has a character sheet is a little problematic in a game like this.
Potentially disturbing.
Yeah, a little bit of an issue going forward.
Well, this is what I assume is going to happen. Like, we're going on this reconnaissance mission. Meyer said that soon we'll know how bad the disease is. I assume someone in the regiment's going to catch the disease. Let's count on O'Bannon doing that. And then we're going to accidentally bring the plague back here, and then that's going to be like our sort of main concern, right? That's my guess. Oh, you're back at sea. Since your arrival at Zanzibar, you haven't had a moment's peace, always be moved from place to place. Nonetheless, Helen's image is still engraved in your mind. The grief of her loss has you torn up inside. Hear her voice echoing in your head as she calls your name, pleading for help. Jake! Jake! Help me, Jake! In my mind, I see that place. Silent Hill. Oh, that's Mary. Sorry, that's Mary. The horrors of your past still haven't left you, not even here on the other side of the world. All right, the map now says we're in the ocean. This is a very useful map. It's just blue. Great. Okay. Lost in your thoughts, you haven't noticed that the vessel you're on, which is much smaller than the ship that brought you to Zanzibar, and just big enough to contain your squadron, has reached the docking point of a seemingly abandoned village. Don't know what to expect yet, but the idea of confronting the disease that Captain Smith was talking about has put you on edge.
I don't know why. I mean, we just war crimed Zanzibar. We should be pretty okay with everything else right now.
Yeah, you'd think so. You quickly disembark from the ship, and you get in line. Smith examines you, then orders a search of the village. Everyone, just get in there and breathe all the sickness in. Just really get it in there.
Well, if we breathe all the sickness in, then there won't be enough sickness for others, and then we save the day.
And then we get on a boat and float out to sea and die and become a ghost ship. And then the game is about being a ghost pirate crew. Okay, now we're in Tanzania.
We laughed, but that almost happened to you.
Yeah, I guess so. It did. Memories. You walk around the hut slowly and watchfully, as if expecting an attack at any moment, despite the village's abandoned appearance. You examine some dwellings, and it feels like you're in a horror story. Oh, don't hang the lampshade on this. Come on, buddy. Some beds are still warm, and there's still food and water on the table, and abandoned wooden toys and utensils give the impression of recent activity. It looks like the people here have suddenly vanished, disappeared into thin air. Oh. Then you hear something, a sizzle in the air, and an unidentifiable smell mixed with that of drying embers. You look and see smoke coming from behind a hut. Heart skips a beat. Maybe someone is still here. You move closer quickly. You can't stand the creeps this village is giving you. You go around the hut, and there, right in front of you, is the answer to all your questions. The stink is unbearable. It forces you to cover your nose with your hand. Flies do a grisly dance around carbonized corpses, flitting here and there like loose cannons. You stare at the bodies, stunned. Their flesh is covered by the remains of a bonfire. Muscle exposed to the sparkling red embers, their carved-up expressions swallowed by ashes. It's a pile of death, black smoke, and buzzing insects. Behind you, you hear someone approaching at a quick pace. You recognize that unmistakable sound, and you turn to see Captain Smith. He's clearly worried, although he's trying to hide it from himself and the rest of the men. All the men gaze at the bonfire where the blanket of silence falls upon you. We can use our observation to move closer to the corpses to have a better look, or we can use our medicine to examine the non-burned corpses.
Medicine. You know, I don't think the burnt corpses are going to give us much information.
Success. Slowly moving closer, you try to examine the charred remains of the corpses. There are no visible wounds, and something makes you suspect they died from disease. On some of the bodies, you can still see the remains of blood rivulets that have streamed from the eyes, hemorrhages. This could be the mysterious disease.
They all got bit by boom slings.
Bleeding tears. That's not a good sign. As far as we know, this village should have been outside the contaminated area. Captain's initial hesitation betrays his concern. Smith pulls out a map from his backpack after having searched for it for a few moments, shows it to you. Points to 3 small villages near the rebel camp. We are near the German border. We have to proceed carefully. There might be enemy soldiers in this area. You're deciding which village to explore first when a noise emanating from the hut startles you, making you turn instantly with your rifles ready to shoot. Walking slowly with a terrified expression, a man moves closer with his hands up in the air. Stop! I am a friend! My name is Betsarai. We'll go with Betsarai. My name is Betsarai. I help! The man watches you with anxiety, still terrified of being riddled with bullets. His glances move frantically from one face to another. Then it rests on yours. Smith gestures to lower the rifles, and then he steps forward and addresses Betsarai. Who did this? Betsarai moves his eyes away from you, like he woke up from some kind of trance, and follows Smith's gaze to the pile of charred corpses. Food? First eat, then help. Smith snorts, annoyed. Give him something to eat. He's come with us. He could be useful. Betsarai continues smiling, and Ryan gives him a food ration from his personal provisions. Smith's eyes return to the map. While he slowly moves over to you, he passes the map to you. What do you think, Huntington? Where should we start from? It's clear Smith has full confidence in your judgment. Your role in this mission is of primary importance. All right, we've met a new character, Betsarai, a young black man who speaks your language a bit with some difficulty. He's willing to be your interpreter with the locals. He's superstitious, but inspires confidence.
I think we just let somebody who could be positive or, infectious into our camp without checking him.
Yeah, perfect, yeah. All right. We can go to the north village, the west village, or the south village. Lots of information there. South village seems to be between 2, running water streams here, so they seem the most likely to not be sick because they would have access to clean washing water.
That makes sense.
That's my completely random decision. South Village.
Are we?
All
right then.
What?
Oh, I was going to say, are we going into the one that seems most likely or least likely? So we're picking the least likely.
Well, I assume if this village is completely decimated and destroyed, besides one person, because they got the plague. We want to find a place with, like, little to no plague to ask them questions about what the hell's going on.
Good. Good.
As you enter the village, you're plunged into an eerie silence. You have a deja vu, living a memory that has come to knock at the door of your reality. It's exactly like the first handful of huts you saw when you came ashore, empty homes and the signs of life that were extinguished in the blink of an eye. Swift gestures at you to split up and investigate, while the vice of anguish grips your hearts once again. Suddenly you hear a noise coming from the bushes around you, the murmur of foliage disturbed by motion, branches rustling, the play of sunlight on the leaves turning into a dangerous glare. You whirl around, heart skipping a beat, and you catch a glimpse of the shadow flitting from branch to branch. You exhale with relief. It was just a bird. Thank goodness. Oh, hey, Diggs, how's it going?
They're not allowed to have birds.
They are too allowed to have birds. Sometimes birds exist in Africa, probably. There's probably at least one bird in Africa.
Fine, they can have one bird.
Africa has to share it. Has to share one bird. You advance deep into the forest, branches twisting away from the trees as if trying to escape the hold of the trunk, as though they were frozen in their contorted attempt at escaping, drawing disquieting shadows in the daylight, through which they slice with crooked fingers. You can almost hear them screaming. No, really hearing a voice. Someone's actually screaming in the abandoned vineyards. It's Betsarai. Should we run back to Betsarai to help? Or do we say, I don't care about this random man that we picked up 5 minutes ago, and I really want to go walk around in this jungle?
I mean, he said he was friendly. We're still waiting for our friend, so
all right,
maybe Betsarai our buddy.
We'll run back and help him. You run, moving the branches away from your face, and those you miss scratch at you as you're trying to hold on to their share of the pain. To the interpreter, he's in shock. He's upset, babbling, his eyes wide, gesturing frantically at the forest. Devil! Devil! You cannot understand what he means. Okay, we can just keep going. We could just say, like, oh, well, he's just yelling about the devil, and just go back to what we were doing. Or we can use speechcraft to try to question what he's talking about.
Speechcraft.
I do like the idea of a character that's just like random things are happening and he's just like, oh, okay. He just moves on. But yes, we should use our speechcraft.
Full on Mr. Bean this entire adventure, yeah.
Success. You try to calm down Betsarai, putting your hands on his shoulders and look him straight in the eyes. You let him vent and talk to you, replying to him in a calm and steady voice. You ask him to explain more clearly what devil he has seen. White man, naked, red eyes, cries blood, want to kill. You wonder what he could have seen, or whether his words, however implausible or an accurate description of the truth, could he have really seen a white man seemingly possessed? You don't have time to question him further. A figure suddenly appears out of nowhere and attacks you. It's a fair-skinned man shouting incoherent words. In an instant, he throws you to the ground and wraps his hands around your neck. Your vision grows dim, and small flashes seem to lure you into unconsciousness, your pupils filling with glowing flecks. You know you're about to lose consciousness as you struggle to breathe. His bloodshot eyes and the grip of madness are fixed on you. The man gnashes his teeth like an animal, so hard that it's audible.
I'd be real mad if I put all of my stuff into fighting only to be, choked to death.
Well, now we have the option of use our fighting to elbow this man in the face and crunch his skull, or we can cry out for help. We don't have any fighting right now, but we do have enough experience points to gain a single point in fighting. If we would like to increase our fighting before we elbow this man, or we could just cry out for help and go, help us, help, please.
Did we wander off? Are we alone? Is it just,
we were talking to Betsarai, and he was explaining the thing, and then this guy leaped out at us. We were trying to send to him.
Guy in the jungle.
Yeah.
I want to hold on to our experience, but This could be the end of us if we don't.
So you want me to put a point in fighting and then try fighting back?
Yeah.
Alright. Put a point in fighting. There's 10 experience points gone. Let's hit him in the face. Failure. You managed to throw the aggressor off balance with the thrust of your back, but the elbow jab you follow with makes contact with the face too weakly. So the man reacts immediately, twisting his legs around your body and raining punches and scratches down on you. You're about to lose consciousness again when suddenly your enemy freezes, caught suddenly by Vespucci's bayonet. Now piercing his body from behind, right through the spine, blood drips from the madman's mouth, and he stares at you wild-eyed and exhales his last breath before collapsing on you, lifeless. You have been injured.
Well, we're infected.
Let's see what it says. It says we've been injured. Yeah, health slightly hurt now. O'Bannon and Vespucci help you to push the white man's body off of you, dropping it aside. Your uniform is utterly drenched in his blood, and for a moment, the exhaustion and stench provoke a wave of nausea. You repress it, opting instead to reach for the hand that the Irishman has extended to help you back to your feet. Thanks. You catch your breath, eyeing in turn O'Bannon and mostly Vespucci. Without his intervention, you would have surely died in the madman's frenzied chokehold. Don't mention it, mate. Just doing my duty. More to the point, though, what the devil got into him? The devil indeed, huh, Doc? O'Bannon tries to diffuse the tension. You proceed to examine the victim's body, and after a few minutes of analysis, you're ready to give your diagnosis. He's got the blood eyes. Explain to your companions you believe the case is a fever, most likely of the malaric type. Oh. Your guy got really dark. Oh. All the tones are changing. You're making color choices.
Oh, yeah. Don't mind me. I'm only, fiddling with stuff.
The feeling's good. The only thing that doesn't make sense are those wounds, only foreign to malaria, or indeed any known disease. In the man's body, you observe lesions and small bleeding sores. You turn the stranger's corpse on its front and expect its back and neck. Then you discover more of those wounds marking its skin, blood flowing profusely from them. In the back of the neck, you see something unusual. They look like insect bites, but they are symmetrical. It's that they were left there deliberately in a precise order. They remind you of a diamond with a circle within. Nothing could be less natural than this. Alright. Got a new journal entry. Let's see what it says. A strange mark. During reconnaissance in some villages in African hinterland, you have encountered an infected man still alive who attacked you and was neutralized. You have noticed a strange mark on his back of his head. 4 punctures arranged in a rhombus. With a circle in the middle. Ooh. In the meantime, Smith, Betzerai, and the other men from the regiment have joined you. The interpreter is still shaken by his previous experience and keeps his distance from the German, while Smith turns to you with angry expression. We found the surviving villagers. The disease has spread to this place too. They say that the white man belongs to a larger group, which abandoned him around here some days ago. You're troubled. This expedition is turning into an endless nightmare. Too many questions are crowding your mind right now. For a start, what was the man doing in the village? Was it mere chance? Or was the situation set up deliberately? Gasp. Alright. Do we want to go to the west village or the north village now?
So the south village is already completely screwed.
That was our adventure in the south village. We've explored it now.
So we've gotten ourselves, ill in the south village.
In theory.
Well, west village.
Alright, west village. Upon entering the village, you immediately feel a welcoming atmosphere. Smith is relieved when he sees men moving peacefully among the huts. To approach you, it's a shaman with his daughter. Do you speak our language? The girl smiles, and she answers affirmatively and says she often deals with the British, who have decided to call her Lorraine for ease. If you need rest, you can stay here for the night. Smith looks at his men, and after a moment he nods, accepting the offer. Some rest will be good for you all. The evening falls, and the men have organized themselves for the night. A big bonfire is lit in the middle of the village. O'Bannon sings a song and pulls out a bottle of whiskey, sharing it with the others. Of course he does. Okay, our new character, Lorraine. Lorraine is the shaman's beautiful daughter of one of the villages he visited. She helps her father with his duties and warmly welcomed you to her village. Oh, warm.
She's gonna stab us in our sleep. That's what this is gonna do.
Ryan's dinner has refreshed you, and you can finally enjoy a moment of quiet. Shaman moves closer and asks Smith to follow him. He wants him to go to his hut. The captain watches the man with a grim look on his face and with the bonfire's flame reflected in the lens of his glasses. He stands, without saying a word, and follows the shaman to the hut that is a bit bigger than the others. Notice that Lorraine, however, is moving away from the village. Should we follow Lorraine, or should we stay here waiting for the return and chill by the fire and drink whiskey?
Well, if we go follow Lorraine, we could end up in the quintessential love at first sight, you know. But I'm sure he has really good whiskey. I'm gonna let you decide this one.
I feel like it's the other way around. I'm sure this is the shittiest whiskey that's ever existed. It's just that it's what we have access to right now.
That's just a very good whiskey.
I'm gonna follow her. Here goes deep
You're
into
in the every port in the storm kind of deal.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's a different kind of port, following a random woman. The girl goes deep into the greenery. In the starlight, you see her looking for some herbs, choosing and picking up some of them from the ground and putting them in some kind of woven basket. So we can observe what she's doing, or we can just ask straight up, "Hey, what are you up to?" "Hi, I'm the creeper who followed you. What are you doing?"
Yeah. Let's just make it even worse. Let's sit in the background and just stare.
All right. You try to recognize the herbs Lorraine has gathered in her basket, but you're too far away and it's too dark to even guess. You try to get closer without being heard, but you step on a branch, making the girl look up, startled. "I'm sorry, it's me, Jake. Jake Huntington. Masculine, manly man."
I have to say my whole name every time.
Well, I mean, that's me adding that because I think Jake Huntington's a funny name, but you know me. Lorraine relaxes, smiles, and starts to explain that she's looking for some particular herbs. She needs them to prepare a concoction to protect the villagers. Words definitely intrigue you. Is the concoction connected to the disease? You can question her, or you can just let her keep explaining without interrupting her.
Let's give her a chance to explain herself.
Okay. Lorraine hesitates for a few seconds, then she seems to open up and starts talking about a mysterious disease. Some weeks earlier, a sick man arrived at the village, hallucinating and delirious. Believing he had been afflicted by some kind of curse, Lorraine gave him the medicine, hoping to defeat the evil that was possessing the man. In a couple hours, the man had calmed down, and then his sores healed in one night. The concoction saved both his body and mind, although he remembers almost nothing about his journey before the village. Since then, rumors of the disease have been frequently heard, although none of the villagers have become sick. Lorraine prepares the concoction for each man, woman, and child in the village, day after day. It has become her role to protect the village so that the disease never touches your loved ones, her family, and community. Why are you doing this, and not your father? Isn't he the shaman? A glimmer of sadness passes over the girl's eyes. Because he won't be shaman forever, and I'll have to take his place. He says that time is soon to come. You realize you have touched a very sensitive topic, and you instinctively put your hand on her shoulder to comfort her. Lorraine looks at you straight in the eye, as though she is attempting to locate something deep inside you. Your pupils dilate in the darkness. It feels a thrill. How long has it been since a woman looked at you like that? You deal with diseases too, right? You nod. You cannot stop staring at her. The night! The sounds of the night gathered around you. Lorraine seems closer and closer, and then instinctively you find yourself moving towards her. I was a doctor before joining the army. Lorraine hesitates for an instant, then she smiles and turns. She goes back to gathering the needed herbs for the concoction.
He got over his wife quick.
Let me see how you prepare this concoction. Lorraine gestures for you to follow her, bringing her to her hut. She sets a little fire and prepares some clay bowls, showing you how to prepare the concoction. You watch each of her movements while she mixes what's left of the plant with some liquids, boiling it, and then filtering the mixture multiple times. The concoction is ready. The approval of Lorraine, you pour some of the concoction into a vial, storing it with great care, slipping it inside your backpack, and then you drink a spoonful. Okay, so we've been protected now. I guess, in theory. Okay, we have a new item, concoction. Concoction made by Lorraine from the herbs she gathered in the jungle. It seems effective in the treatment of the mysterious disease. Now, you leave your hut and join your companions around the fire. You join O'Bannon's new drinking game. He already seems too drunk to understand it's time to stop. Soon enough, his whiskey gets you all fairly drunk, and you find yourself staring at the swaying heads of your comrades. The Irishman seems unstoppable, and he continues singing cheerfully, just as Lorraine approaches each of you with a big clay bowl. Holds the concoction she has prepared, and she offers it to you and all the soldiers. Lost in the effects of alcohol, you all accept the offer to drink the mysterious liquid. We love mysterious liquid.
Yeah.
Then you drink more whiskey to take away the awful taste of the concoction. The world around you starts to cloud. Colors slowly blur. It starts to light up more and more, while the shapes of the objects and of your comrades melt into weird, incomprehensible fractals. You don't know whether it's O'Bannon's whiskey or Lorraine's pungent mixture, but at some point you don't know whether you're awake or already dreaming. Lorraine walks up to you with her light steps. Jake.
So can we talk about how much of a terrible doctor we are? We've mixed alcohol and medicine. We have chosen to ingest random, fluids from a village we just met. Like, we are actively the worst doctor I think I've seen in a game so far.
Well, to be fair, the lady is beautiful, so.
Oh, well, that changes everything.
Yeah,
continue.
Obviously so. Jake, come with me. I want to show you one more thing about our medicine. Lorraine takes your hand softly. You feel a thrill. Oh, what a thrill. So we can follow her or don't follow her?
What's this game rated again?
I don't know. 400,000?
I
mean...
Let's follow her.
Let's follow
What's the worst that can happen?
While you follow her, Lorraine's shoulders seem to stiffen as she walks. Her steps become less and less steady, and she turns to look at you. You feel her tension. You seem upset. Is something bothering you? Lorraine moves on the spot. She seems uncertain, as if she doesn't know what she wants to show you anymore, or maybe she just made up an excuse to take you inside her hut. Jake, there are moments I'm really terrified. If it wasn't for our medicine, I don't know what I would do. The village relies on me, and I'm not sure I can fight against this evil. Instinctively, you feel the desire to drive her fear away, and without thought, you close your arms around her, bringing her close to you. A few seconds of embarrassment, Lorraine returns the hug. How many months have passed since you've been close to a woman? The girl brings you to the foot of her bed. She slowly starts to undress, letting your clothes fall to the grounds.
We're definitely the bad guy here, right?
Again, we're the British colonial army. We're the bad guy by definition. Her face disappears for an instant, hidden behind the poor fabric of her dress, but when it reappears from beneath her garments, it now seems Lorraine has Helen's face. Okay, we can leave the hut alarmed by the apparition, or we can stay with Lorraine, who looks like our wife, so it's probably okay to have sex with her because she looks like our wife.
Nope. Jump, run.
No, it's okay. It's okay. She looks like our wife. It's okay. It's okay. All right, we're leaving. We're alarmed. The thought of Helen struck you like an apparition. You have not been with a woman since her, but what stops you is precisely that image. How can you think of pushing yourself further when your wife's image is still so present in your mind? You sleep in the camp under the open sky. When you awaken, the first thing that welcomes you is a violent and painful headache. You stagger to your feet, grumbling, incoherently muttering and stretching. The rest of the regiment's already having breakfast. Okay, it says we've failed an achievement, a night of love. We've spent the night alone. We didn't get the achievement for having sex. Shame on us.
Oh no.
What a horrible fate. We'll be forever shamed.
Oh.
You see the bottles of whiskey scattered on the ground. You don't remember much about what happened last night. You join the men and start eating too. You're talking to Ryan while you eat some delicious bacon prepared by the Italian when Smith approaches. It's time to go. Men get ready and the captain talks to you. Did you find out anything about the disease? Lorraine gave me a concoction which may hinder the effects of the disease or even heal an infected person, but needs to be tested to make sure it works. Some good news, finally.
Somebody.
Yeah, just gotta give it to random people. Also,
we have a young ward, perfect for testing.
By the way, we are all part of the test group because we all took it last night.
Well.
Okay.
Oops.
Smith. I managed to talk with the shaman, and he told me some men in tunics have crossed the border. Everyone in the nearby villages is talking about it. They may be involved with the disease. We need to be careful. Alright, now we gotta go to the North Village. Reach a village by which is bordered delimited by huts. The air is gloomy and almost solemn, and a group of people, men and women, are swaying from side to side and singing in the middle of a rural square as if bewitched by a spell. Smith gestures for Bet Sarai to go and talk to them. The reek of death meets your nostrils. Nostrils. Okay, I'm done. The interpreter approaches one of the men standing in a circle. They speak softly for a few moments. Man listens and nods. When Bet Sarai comes back, Smith asks him what's happening. A funeral. The men are gathered around the bonfire, and the whole village is covered by a thin shroud of ash. Some corpses must have been burned here, too. You suppose... Oh, excuse me. Ooh, how dare I talk for all this time? How dare I? Suppose the camp survivors you previously reached went directly to these groups of huts. You see dead bodies wrapped up in sheets being taken from a hut nearby to the bonfire. Fire is about to be lit once more. I don't think my eyes are bleeding yet. Let me double check.
The game becomes real.
It does. Yep, no blood yet. So we have to prevent these bodies being burned at all costs if you want to know more about the disease. It may be your only chance examining still fresh corpses before the natural process of decomposition makes it impossible to identify any distinguishing features of the disease. We have to stop this funeral. So we can ask...
More crimes?
Yeah, more war crimes, you know. We can ask Smith to stop the ritual. We can ask Bet Sarai to stop the ritual. Or we can just go in there and just, like, grab a corpse and say, this is mine. This is my corpse. It's mine.
Well, the last one will get us killed. So, make it Smith's problem.
That's a good point. Our job is to know stuff. His job is to beat the locals into submission.
Yeah.
Next time we do this, I am bringing a gigantic glass of water.
Good call.
Ooh. Captain, we have to stop the ritual. I need to see those bodies if we want to find out something about this disease. Smith moves his eyes back and forth from you to the villagers, trying to understand whether saving the bodies is a good idea or just madness. Then he nods. All right, Huntington, be quick. Move towards the funeral pyre without hesitation, but the men are staring at you with bewilderment, and you detect a certain hostility in their glances. Betsarai is right next to you, and he seems nervous. He can't help but look around and stumble over his own feet. Suddenly, as if you've pushed some kind of switch, the people of the tribe start screaming at you. They're approaching you aggressively, and you can see that their intentions are hardly peaceful. Betsarai instantly stiffens, and for a moment you feel like he's grinding his teeth so vigorously he may crack them. He's almost as scared as you are, and you don't even need to look at him to know it. Men, aim! Smith intervenes from behind you. Without hesitation, the soldiers aim their rifles all at once at the villagers. Great. They immediately stop and instinctively start moving backwards, wisely letting you reach the bodies on the bonfire. Take a breath while the villagers turn silent, whispering prayers, and you start the examination. There are abrasions on the bodies, but no wounds. The corpse's eyes are bloodshot, and after taking a better, deeper look, you realize that these men have probably had several hemorrhages. The abrasions must be what's left of their infected sores. They cannot tell you anything more. You move away from the bonfire and signal to Besserai, who immediately says something to the villagers. The ritual restarts as though you had never interrupted it, with people dancing and chanting. Taking only a few steps away, when you hear the crackle of fire from behind you. The flames are rising up, seeing both wood and rotting cadavers. I feel like we learned literally nothing from this.
Yeah. From what you just said, we went, oh, it's the same wounds we've already solved. And then all we've done is threaten a peaceful ceremony.
Yeah, seems like we did a great job. You respectfully stay silent to observe the ritual, watching the bodies burn and shriveling on the bonfire. The funeral chant is bewitching. They're singing a dirge, which seems to come from another world. From it, you are enchanted and mesmerized. A shout puts a sudden stop to the chanting. A woman emerges from the hut screaming and tries to throw herself onto the bonfire. Villagers manage to stop her before she can reach the flames. The woman, weak with despair, is carried away and taken to a corner. Some men keep an eye on her to prevent her attempting to reach the bonfire again. Rumpers are uneven, interrupted by her weeping and shaking. Signals to Betserai to follow you while you approach her. He's now taking on a fetal position and is rocking back and forth. One keeps shaking and talking nonsense for a few moments, but Betserai's words seem to work. She raises her tear-stained face, stopping her nonsensical muttering, begins answering the interpreter's questions. What is she saying? She want to run, escape. You raise an eyebrow, wondering whether Betserai speaks the same dialect as the woman. It's clear she didn't want to run. She wanted to kill herself. And the interpreter is making fun of you, or the woman's talking nonsense again. You go back to observing the villagers' ritual. Their funeral chants and dances have resumed around the bonfire, and they look as though they are under the effect of some kind of hallucinogenic drug. Betserai continues to keep an eye on the woman, who meanwhile seems to have calmed down completely. He's talking to her, probably trying to figure out more about the situation. Suddenly you hear a loud thud behind you, and when you turn, you see the interpreter pushed to the ground by the woman, who nimbly avoids you and sprints towards the bonfire. Suddenly the villagers are too focused on the ritual, and they notice the running figure too late. She's enveloped by flames. She did it. Success.
Victory for her.
The groaning cries of the people are silenced by the screams coming from the bonfire. It's an agonizing and human wailing, in the face of which no action can be undertaken but horrified staring. Everyone watches the dark shape of the woman fading into the roaring fire. Her features horribly disfigured by the bright white flames. The ritual's nearly over, and the flames are dying. Nobody wants to get close to the ashes and the human bones, probably afraid of seeing the remains of the suicidal woman. Comments are fearfully murmuring. Murmuring. They want to retreat.
Huh?
I've never heard such screaming. It's the first time for everything, Huntington. Screams of the pain are always dreadful. It's hard enough to hear them when it's you doing the killing, but these, they never get into your mind. They get into your mind and they never, ever leave. They never leave. Now, the ones where you're killing people, those leave easily. It's very easy to kill people for the British Empire.
With luck, we have so far yet to take anybody's stuff. So, points for us.
That's true. We were given, we asked for some of this concoction, and we were giving it, we were giving it freely. She was doing it, to be fair, we might not have held up our end of the bargain, like we, we might have been exchanging it for some dick, but we didn't give it, and then that's a problem. But what are you gonna do?
At no point was it explained to us that goods and services were to be exchanged properly.
That's fair. After a short silence, you and the men move on from the village to your next destination. The agonizing yelling of the woman is still echoing in your mind. All right. And now we're to a new chapter, the Rebel King. But it's been about 2 hours, so I think that might be the end of our explorations today. Let's take a look at your art, shall we?
Oh no.
We're zooming in. Oh, there it is. It's art time. Welcome to art time, the time where there's art. There was always art, but now there's more art. So let's see. We've got. So, is this like a Disney's Gargoyles situation where Cthulhu like messed up and the sun touched him and he turned into a rock, or is this like a ancient carving?
He spends all of his time in like a saltwater bath. So I would assume that like once he got out of the water, it would be a truly problematic time for him.
Need lots of moisturizer. That's
yes.
That's what Cthulhu truly wants. He doesn't want to, drive men insane with his unknowable knowingness. He's very knowable. He just needs some moisturizer, man.
All he wants is a friend.
Yeah.
Which from the game, we also truly only want a friend.
Yes, we only want a friend. We would love to meet one. We've had several potential friends, but none that we know for sure.
Yeah. None of them well, we know one for sure, but then she turned into Helen, and we had to run.
Yeah, we did.
We could not be there.
It didn't seem quite right to ask this woman to summon the ghost of our dead wife for sex.
Yeah. Sometimes it's good to walk away. A life lesson that we all should learn.
Yes. So this is a life lesson that I think we can all carry with us as we move forward. Truly, this contemplation has paid off, for we have contemplated this lesson about not having sex with someone pretending to be our dead wife, because we got to move on by becoming a soldier for the British Empire.
I think at this point we've truly become better people.
Truly.
For the British Empire.
Yeah. To what extent? To what extent empire building can be better people?
Yeah. I guess that is it for our show this time. We will come back. I guess next week.
Yeah.
We're going to do this weekly.
Yeah, that's the goal. Obviously, sometimes life may get in the way, but every week we'll come back for some additional contemplation. Next time we will probably continue our adventures with Jake Huntington, Manly Man, and Manly Doctor.
I think I'll save this here, and as long as we're doing that, I will work on the same image.
Yeah. Well, whatever you feel like, you can work on the same image. You can, now that you've got some ideas of what the game's about, you could draw some stuff from the games. Whatever you feel like. You're the art king. The hobo art king over there.
I'd have to do it from context clues, because I can't see any of the game from my vantage point.
But you can see the video later.
Oh yeah.
All right.
I guess we're out. Thank you for watching.
Yeah, and with that, we'll leave with our catchphrase that we definitely have. Be contemplative for the future.
Yeah, Oh no.
No, not the future. Never mind. Go back.
Yeah. You were fine. You
I ruined it.
Nice. Bye, guys. Let's.
Until next time, contemplate what you have learned here, and expand your vision to that beyond knowing.